afternoon, Facebook sphere, metasphere.
Yeah.
Anyways, Meg here again, joining you guys live here for I Got My Miracle, our every Saturday, every miracle conversation. And we are here to talk about one guest experience, one of what, 90? There's about 90 people here this week, so one of 90. And I'm so grateful that you have taken the time to sit with me here, Angela, this afternoon.
My pleasure, my honor.
Welcome.
Thank you.
These videos are so helpful for people out there to get an idea about what it is we do here at Rhhythmia, what to expect with the medicine experience.
Mm-hmm.
And you had shared with me earlier on this week that you, in fact, had been watching a lot of our videos. So you this was how you did a lot of your research before coming here.
Right. One of the ways that I researched Rhhythmia was with the talks when you would talk to someone. And I mean, I got to where I had watched as many as I could watch. I had to wait for the next one, is how many I watched.
Wow.
And enjoyed every one and found them so powerful and so motivating. And so, I can't wait, type
so cool.
Reaction, yeah.
So cool. So let's talk about it. You decided to pick up the phone, call us, and come on down here.
Mm-hmm.
What brought you here to Rhhythmia? What were you seeking? What was the call for you?
I definitely was called, that's for sure. But it dawned on me, even thinking about speaking to you today, that I have been saying that she called me about 10 years ago. But I found I got some clarity with that. It actually was more like 22 years ago, because it was my first experience to Costa Rica, and which gave me such a love for Costa Rica that I was here in 2000 and just wanted to come back. Another 10 years would pass before I even ever heard the word ayahuasca, to the point where I can remember when I didn't know how to say it.
Oh yeah,
and I did. What? But I found it very intriguing. But so this would have been like maybe in 2010. There wasn't a lot of information. What little I would come across every time, it was very intriguing and compelling. But I had no idea of the magicalness of it. Even still, I'm an old hippie. And not that I was ever, I have done a few times psychedelics back in the day, but that aspect of it just was so appealing. And so that's when she first began to call. And then a year ago, February, I retired from 30-year nursing career. So I've had this past year to not do anything except what I wanted to do. Early on in my retirement, had shoulder surgery and couldn't do much but sit in front of the TV. Information started coming, and one of the first things about ayahuasca that I happened to come across, and really was the trigger that made me pick up the phone and call, was the reality of truth.
Mm-hmm. Super
Jerry's
common, a lot
story.
of our guests. Yeah.
And when knowing I had this draw to ayahuasca, and then when I found out Rhhythmia was in Costa Rica, okay, that's it. That's the spot. That's the one. And absolutely solidified it. Got on the phone, I think, if not that day, the next day. And so that's how I got here.
And when you originally booked it, let's tell me a little bit about how you're here for 2 weeks. So you just completed your first week. You're here for the second week.
Right.
You're sticking around. She's staying, guys. So she's gone through a week and she's staying. So that says something pretty good, right?
Yeah. And so grateful and thankful that I get to.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And I felt like it was, another gift from the universe that it worked out. And how it worked out was I originally booked for myself and my partner, and we were going to come together, and for reasons he changed his mind. So but I had put it on my credit card, and so it was okay, so now what? And when I called to say that he would not be coming with me, I was like, you know what, I'll just take that second week. And definitely know that that's just exactly how it was meant to be.
Yeah.
And
we were just talking about when we were walking here to the studio to do this interview, how so much of your trip has been very much like it's just been the synchronicities
Mm-hmm.
and the perfect divine timing of a lot of what's been going on for you has been a gift in and of itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that that's something that a lot of people gain from this experience. It's like a side bonus almost, right? Where you start to sit back and see like, oh my gosh, you look back at an event that took place in your life where you think everything seems so out of place and out of time, but then you can look back and see, like, oh my gosh, that was all perfect. It was like exactly how it needed to be to domino to the exact place that I needed to be, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. And domino, I mean, that it's happening whether you know it or not. But the fun in it is when you begin to recognize it as it's happening and get to feel the excitement from, oh, yeah, thank you. That's another one.
Yeah. So there was probably a blip of time where you were a bit disappointed that your partner wasn't going to come, and then you reframed it.
Exactly.
And it is 100% going to be exactly as it's meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
For both you and him. I'm sure there's going to be some gifts for him for not having come this week as well that he could never have predicted.
Right.
And we just trust and have faith in that. So let's get to the meat of things.
Okay.
Let's talk miracles.
Okay.
I asked you earlier, did you receive a miracle? And you were like, well, listen. And then you said, and I said, well, stop up. Did you? Yes. And it was a big smile and a big yes. So I don't even know this story. Tell me about your the biggest miracle experience or the biggest takeaway or how it landed for you.
Well, I came, absolutely, I have to say, because of things that have been happening for the last year and a half, I came with the intention of, I knew I was going to get my miracle. I had no doubt about that. I did not know the intensity and the miraculousness of my miracle, or how profound it would be, and what a gift. I didn't know. So I got my miracle tenfold, absolutely. And I'm so excited now to see what my second week miracles will be, because I know they will be different, but I know I will get more miracles.
Yeah.
And the one that occurred this week was very special because had a lot of loss since COVID. From the summer of 2020, my mama left and went to the angels. And then about 3 months later, my Kimosabi, my brother, my big brother, also, he suddenly passed. And then this past November, my papa. So it was a lot. And even this is okay because it's actually happy. And especially my brother, which is a whole another story. But I was and am so happy for the freedom that it brought him. But I didn't realize the pain and the sorrow and the guilt and the emotion I wasn't allowing myself to feel, because I've always been the strong one. And I still have my baby sister, to take care of. Anyway, early on, the first night of breathing, the breathing exercise,
the breathwork class.
The breathwork was enormous. I had no idea what was going to come up. Oh my God. So that was incredible. And then the first ceremony night, I can't say was wonderful in all the ways that it's rough. It was rough. It was really rough. But it was, I know I started my journey then. Definitely things were starting to work. And I didn't feel like really, I didn't see a lot. I didn't have a lot of visions. I didn't have a lot of downloads. I didn't have a lot of that aspect of stuff. So I had a lot of still questioning. Am I doing it wrong? Am I going to be the one it doesn't work on? All that. Maybe it's all in my head. Maybe none of what I think I feel is really true. And then come Tuesday night, I just moved farther along the path. Had an easier night as far as the physiological aspect of it. Was not as rough. And just kind of getting in my groove with it is really how I felt. And then Wednesday, I think, was the first time that I really realized how deep inside I was getting to go. And I don't think I even touched on the night when I was positive I was going to be the first fatality.
I
here.
think that was, when was that? That was Tuesday night,
Yeah,
I think. I
yeah.
spoke to you Wednesday morning.
Yeah. So
Where's the EMT?
Oh yeah, I mean, I thought I lost my blood pressure.
Mhm.
I was telling the people that are the shamans, the people that are helping.
The
I
ceremony
need
angels.
the
Yeah.
ceremony angels. I need real help. Could you please get me somebody?
Which is something that we see all the time.
Right. And that's what they kept telling me. This is all normal. Just breathe. Just breathe. And I wanted to so bad, but there was a part of me that felt like I was waving goodbye. If they knew, if I had the strength to wave, they'd understand I'm seriously leaving. And oh my God. And I did. I mean, that part of me is no longer is here. That desperate part of me that I thought I could not let go of. But to move on to, because I'm excited to share my happiest ceremony,
Which was Thursday.
which was Thursday. Although, to go back on Wednesday, because it's the feminine night.
Yeah.
All night long, the gentleness. And I was so tired. I was so tired and had very little sleep, very little time for sleep. Didn't want, particularly. But all night long, the journey was just so gentle and restful and so precious. Such an incredible gift. It was just absolutely amazing. To just keep being told that you're getting this rest. You're getting this rest that I had asked for rest, and I really just thought sleep, just put me to sleep. And I don't really think I slept at all, but I so rested in the gloriousness of the magic of the medicine. So I went into the Thursday ceremony, really kind of wondering why we would be there so much longer, and all of that kind of thing.
Because Thursday night is an all-night ceremony. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we wrap. It's like 5:30 till about 2 a.m. Thursday night, we go 7:30 at night till the following morning, well after sunrise, for those of you that don't know.
Yeah. And I part of my intention to come here with, as far as the miracle too, was healing. And not, heart healing in all those ways, but actual physical healing. Things happened before I came where all of a sudden I had a back problem I hadn't been having, and a hip problem I hadn't been having, stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, well, I hope I can get some healing with that. And Thursday night, the whole journey was just amazing. I kept thinking it was just so good, so wonderful, and so blissful for me, which is not always the experience. That I kept just wondering, why am I getting to experience it like this? And I would find myself in a loop of having like an aha moment about something, and then getting to giggle about it, and then remembering to kind of quiet myself. Aha moment, giggle, quiet myself. And I just did that for so long, and was so overwhelmed with how joyful I felt through all that, the laughter and the joy and the thankfulness, and as my Kimosabi would always say, an attitude of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
I still, all these pains just kept getting worse, to where, I was not having difficulty walking around the facility or doing those kinds of things. That night I found I was having a hard time turning from side to side. I mean, I was using my hands to turn my hips, and a couple times thought when it was time to get back in line, I would have to crawl to get there. Part of the long ceremony on Thursday is a healing circle, which I didn't know. I didn't know that was even in there. Well, at one point when I felt like I was ready for more medicine, I wanted to get to line, but I could barely get up. And then I would get up and I could barely walk. I could barely get one foot in front of the other because of this pain. And I was confused about the pain because I had not had that kind of pain. Anyway, so I had to be put back in my spot a couple times, just reminded because that's not the appropriate time to do that. And I kept thinking, did I miss my turn to get up there? Is somebody going to tell me when to go? So I was a little bit anxious about that, but kept quieting myself. Even got completely under my blanket, like womb-like at one point, just to try to get some rest, I guess. Just about the time I think I maybe was going to doze off, my blanket comes up and I hear this sweet little voice, "Sister, would you like to go to the healing circle?" And I about came out. I mean, I was like burst out of that blanket and got there. Although my bed was close to where the circle was. I had a struggle standing up, a struggle walking. She even asked me if she needed to get me a chair, is how severe it was. And you've seen me walk. I've done. Anyway, I was determined. So I got there and I got sat down, and the magic of that night, the magic of those angels, the magic is just palpable. And the things that happen are just, I will never, ever, ever forget, or what I want to. But to feel
the feathers and the lyra,
and
the chanting and the lotion.
It was just like an experience I could have never fathomed. And by the end of my circle, which took a while, and even that, I asked myself, is this the same way they do for everybody? Because they seem to know exactly where to brush away the pain. I didn't tell them where I was physically hurting. It just unbelievable. Which I've also learned, every time I hear myself say unbelievable, it's like, but I believe it. I mean, it is unbelievable, but I so believe it. So believe it. And then to ask for purpose, because I know all of this is a purposeful journey that I've been led to. Meeting you, I told you how excited I was to meet you because I'd seen you doing this so many times. I never dreamed I'd be sitting here. Never dreamed I would. I did never have the confidence to do this. I never loved myself enough to think I could do this. And and here I am sitting here doing this. And even when you asked me if I would, I immediately got kind of panicky because I was like, oh, no, I can't do that. Yes, I can. I can be proud. I can hold myself proud because I have learned to love myself for the first time ever. So it's such an honor to just get to share this. I feel like it's the beginning of my purpose. So thank you.
Thank you. Long story short, there's her miracle.
There's so much more, in the details. But trying to be concise and which is another thing too. I've never articulated well. My children, even when I'm trying to talk to my children, they tell me, "Mama, this is the point. This is you."
You've done a beautiful job this afternoon.
So thank you. I wanted to. I hoped that I could possibly convey if it's possible to convey what's in my heart.
Yeah, and the magic. And I think that you've done very well to share the magic with our amazing listeners today. We got lots of people saying, Shelly is saying she's so happy for you. Welcome to the family.
Oh, thank you.
I too had my first breakthrough at breathwork.
Uh-huh.
Lots of 100s. Someone commenting on my baby bump. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Loving these personal experiences. And Jillian says, you're so cute.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Maybe we'll have her back on next Saturday to see how things go for week number 2. So thank you again, Angela, so much.
So my pleasure.
Thank you all out there for watching. If you know of anyone that is still curious, maybe on the fence still, maybe could relate to our lovely Angela here about her experience, please share this video, send it along to your family and friends. Help get the word out there that this kind of magic and healing and self-love is possible. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend. And I think Kim Terranova will be back here live next Saturday. So we'll see you when we see you. Mwah. Ciao for now.